Hi, I'm Jane Dunewald, and this is the fourth in a series on the Cornerstones of Creativity and how they intersect with creative strength training, the online program that I'm running in 2020, which begins on March 1st. I'd like to just go over the four cornerstones in case you haven't watched the previous videos, and I recommend that you go back and watch those. But we're talking about curiosity, we're talking about confidence, we're talking about clarity, and we're talking about community. And in this particular video, the emphasis or our focus is on confidence. Now, you might think confidence is not that related to creativity, or you might not see the connection, but think about it this way. When you are going through the course of your day, you encounter all kinds of experiences where you feel challenged. And people think of creativity in a very, very narrow way. They don't realize that every time you feel challenged when you're encountering a situation in your life, you have the opportunity to respond creatively to that. If you can begin to think about creativity that way, it's a much broader perspective than what I might make in the studio or what my writer friend might write on a particular morning or on anything that someone might compose or sing or play on an instrument. Creativity touches every single part of every single life if we only allow it to do so. And so when we've practiced creativity through curiosity and through clarity and through being in community with other people who are supportive, which is what the creative strength training program is designed to do, when we're in community and supportive of one another, we find this wonderful confidence rising up from within, because you begin to see that there are lots of creative ways to behave with the world around you. They're not limited in any way, and you can feel challenged to think about that person, that neighbor, that you're not necessarily getting along with. How are you going to solve that in some creative way? But the important part of the confidence is that, as is true with any experience, when you're a kid and you get on a bicycle for the first time, you don't feel very confident. You might be misguided confidence in that case. But anyhow, somebody's got to be there with you, holding up the bike, helping you go forward, taking off the training wheels before you rather gingerly ride out onto the sidewalk. But the more you ride, the more confident you feel until you are actually riding no hands. I didn't ride a bike for almost 20 years. And when I got back on a bicycle, I was ginger. I was tender. I was fearful. It took about a month of riding, and I'm talking about in my 50s. It took about a month of riding, and finally the pinnacle moment of feeling confidence was when I could let loose of the handlebars and balance myself enough to ride no hands. And that's what this confidence thing is all about. You can learn to exercise your creativity riding no hands. And when you do, it's a fantastic feeling, and it affects every other part of how you see your behavior and your interactions with other people. Now, how does creative strength training factor into any of that? It goes like this. We're in community with each other. Every month we have a guest creative who talks about how they've overcome, he or she has overcome the things people say, the slings and the arrows. We talk about being able to see the world around us through the creative eye exercise. I write an essay every month on an archetype that is designed to help us go deeper and find the meaning that's within each of us. And then we have our open forum. So there are numerous ways that are repeated every single month, which is why we call it a practice. We practice being more creative. And when we practice being more creative, we find that a side element of that is this confidence that begins to ripple up. I talk a lot about the creative strength training program, or write about it on the website, and there are lots of testimonials from people who have literally gone through the program 1 year, sometimes 2 years in a row, and talk about how life-changing it can be. And it's life-changing because it's an opportunity to build new habits, to knock down negative thinking, and to be in a supportive environment where people have the same goals you have. They want to live a more creative life too. We're all in it together. It's a wonderful experience. I wouldn't still be doing it if it hadn't changed my own life, and I hope you'll give it an opportunity to change yours. Check it out on my website, and I hope you'll come along for the ride.